A long time ago, in a far-off land, there lived a wise and just king named Maximus. King Maximus was loved by all his subjects, and they regarded him as a just and fair ruler. One day, he called upon his trusted advisor, a philosopher named Jeremy Bentham, to seek his advice on an important matter. "Jeremy, my dear friend," said King Maximus, "I have been pondering over the question of how to make my kingdom a happier place for my people. What can I do to ensure that everyone is content and satisfied?" Jeremy Bentham thought for a moment and then replied, "Your Majesty, I believe that the greatest happiness of the greatest number is the foundation of morals and legislation." King Maximus was intrigued by this statement and asked Jeremy to explain what he meant. "Your Majesty," said Jeremy, "if we want to make our kingdom a happier place, we need to focus on what will bring the greatest happiness to the largest number of people. This means that we should create laws and policies that benefit the majority, rather than just a select few. We should also consider the long-term consequences of our actions, rather than just the short-term gains." King Maximus was impressed by Jeremy's insight and asked him to elaborate further. "Let me give you an example, Your Majesty," said Jeremy. "Suppose we have two options for a new policy. The first option would benefit 10% of the population, while the other option would benefit 80% of the population. The greatest happiness would be achieved by choosing the option that benefits the 80%, even if it means that the 10% will not receive any benefits." King Maximus nodded in agreement and asked, "But what about those who are not part of the majority? Shouldn't we consider their needs as well?" "Of course, Your Majesty," replied Jeremy. "We should not ignore the needs of the minority, but we should also not prioritize their needs over the majority. Instead, we should strive to find solutions that benefit everyone as much as possible." King Maximus was pleased with Jeremy's explanation and decided to implement this principle in his kingdom's laws and policies. As a result, the people of his kingdom became happier and more content, and the kingdom prospered. Years later, after King Maximus had passed away, Jeremy Bentham's philosophy continued to guide the rulers of the kingdom. It became known as the principle of utilitarianism, which states that the best course of action is the one that maximizes happiness for the greatest number of people. And so, the greatest happiness of the greatest number became the foundation of morals and legislation in the kingdom, and it remained so for generations to come. The people of the kingdom lived happily ever after, knowing that their rulers were always striving to make their lives better. Please help our channel grow by liking, sharing and subscribing to our channel.